Hey fellow Vault Dwellers, it's Angry Turtle and welcome to another episode of Turtle's Lab. In today's episode, insane in-combat health regeneration is available right now. Probably not the intended feature, but it exists. Not an exploit, it's just interaction between one perk card and healing effects. And I know there will be a group of people that is really against me explaining how it works. And to avoid answering that in all the comments, I will answer that here. I said that in the past, but I will repeat it really quickly before we jump in. I'm against secrets in video games. That's my mission. I played in the past video games when access to the knowledge was limited to special groups and clans, when people played almost 24/7 and only they had the knowledge and that was guarded. I'm against that. I want everyone to have equal access to knowledge about mechanics of Fallout 76, regardless if you play only on the weekends or you live inside Fallout 76. Doesn't matter. So, let's jump in. What is that? What is that crazy in-combat health regeneration? And yes, it's available for ghouls, for humans, for everyone. All you really need is this perk, Spiritual Healer, that by itself is very weak, but it must be equipped because this perk currently, for whatever reason, activates all regeneration effect to be active during combat. Like it changes the requirements to be out of combat to doesn't matter. You can be in combat, it will work. By itself, this perk is really weak, regardless how much charisma you have, low or high. It doesn't really do anything. If they change how it works in the future, you will not be using it. Spiritual Healer, 0.25 health per second. You can bump it up if your charisma is very high to like 1. 1 health per second, you will not really notice much. So it's a really weak perk by itself, but it activates all other healing effects. For example, Mutation Healing Factor, that normally triggers only out of combat, but with this perk works in combat. The same applies to other effects, like regenerating on armor. And there are some other problems and solutions I will show you in practice now. We'll use super mutants as volunteers to shoot at me. I will not be shooting them this time. Lucky super mutants. So here we are at Westech under heavy fire from super mutants. As you can see, I can shrug it all off. No problem. I basically heal as quickly as I get hit with a power of about Stimpak. Now, if I would unequip the perk Spiritual Healer, so that's the difference. Without the Spiritual Healer, all my regeneration effects are paused because I'm in combat. You see here? Nothing is happening. No healing. I put the Spiritual Healer back on, hopefully fast enough before I die. Super mutants are really into this particular experiment. I unequip Ricochet, so there is no risk that... Oh, there it is, working. It takes a second to kick in, but there's no risk that I will kill them by just standing here. Now I do have healing. Look at the power of this healing. Look how fast it's jumping back up. The only moment it's not jumping up is when I'm actively taking damage and game is calculating how much damage I took. As soon as there is like split-second break between damage taken, it's jumping back up with the power of a Stimpak. I'm basically getting at this moment about 50 health per second. So look at that. Under heavy fire, I'm at full health. If I unequip the armor, as I do have regenerating armor on me, so if I drop this effect and I have no armor, I still have very significant healing. At this moment, about 4%. Keep in mind here, the mutation healing factor says 4%, but in reality it's 3.5 because the base of healing factor is 3 percentage points. On a team is 3.5, but the game is rounding up to show the even number. The actual power is 3.5%. And yes, it does stack with all other healing effects, the passive ones that normally are out of combat. Like, for example, I should have a food here. Yes, this one. Deathglow accumulator. They're better foods, but this is additional 0.3 health regeneration. And even with armor unequipped, like at this moment my armor is unequipped, I can stand here surrounded by super mutants, taking heavy damage, and my health is jumping back up. It keeps jumping back up. There is one downside of healing factor mutation. My Stimpaks are weaker, but in this case scenario, it's not doesn't really matter because I don't need to use them. So this is something incredible. Now there is another downside. If you run like that, like equipped armor, the healing factor mutation and passive regeneration will not regenerate your limbs. So I will be fully crippled here in a moment. You see all my limbs are dying, but there is solution to that as well. So one perk that is helping already, and I have it, but it's not enough by itself, Adamantium Skeleton. It's not enough by itself, so you can see that my arm is broken and so on. And then to fix that, I will be forced to use a Stimpak, otherwise it will not get fixed. So now Stimpak heals limbs. But if you don't want to ever use a Stimpak, there is a solution. If I put on back my armor, you can see that in this armor, I'm not taking any limb damage. My health is going up and down, under heavy fire still, but limbs are untouched. They will not lose any health anymore. And why is that? So the solution for that, it's mod Strengthen. This mod Strengthen, when you apply it on all the limbs, plus you have Adamantium Skeleton, it will make your limbs completely immune to crippling, almost like you are wearing power armor. You could wear power armor, that's other option for you to prevent any limb damage, but you don't need to. The armor will still be taking damage. So yeah, armor eventually will break. You cannot make armor immune to damage, but your limbs can be. And even if armor will break, the legendary effects will still work. So for this crazy healing, I don't even need my armor to be in good condition. So all Strengthened prevents any limb damage, alternatively running a power armor, and you probably never need a Stimpak. Like I can't imagine too many situations in which I will be taking more damage simultaneously than in here, standing surrounded by a dozen of super mutants and 4 super mutant hunts. So it's not much scenario when you take more damage. Maybe if I will be fighting the Guardian solo, that's the only scenario when I will take more damage and I will need actually some extra healing, but not much. So there is not much option in which I will be under heavier fire than in this exact scenario. So enjoy it when it lasts. I don't know exactly when it started working like that. From what people say me from the tell me from the community, it at least from Ohio update. So it looks like it is in game for quite a bit. I didn't discover it earlier, as I normally don't use healing factor. Like I don't need healing outside of combat, but I do certainly need healing inside of combat. So now with this change, it's working amazingly. The useless otherwise card, suddenly, at least temporary, S tier for regeneration. Like, tears everyone in a super tank. So now we have 2 options. There's 100% evade chance option added with last patch, and there is this option with crazy health regeneration added recently. So all those super mutants failed to defeat me. Thank you for your participation, super mutants. You were very helpful. And this time, because you are working so hard, I will save your lives. I'm not fighting back. Good night, super mutants. Or good day. See you later. Turtle is leaving. And everyone, thank you a lot for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Turtle's Lab. And see you all soon.